I really, really love this company. I've been with them for 12 years now, going on 13 years. And anybody that's been in banking knows that that's a lifetime in banking. I've stayed with them as long as I have because I love the company so much and the values that they drive home to us as employees and to our customers. In the last 3 years, I'm taking on the lending role in my office. And so what I'm going to teach you guys about today is the 5 C's of credit. So I get a lot of questions from people about, well, if I want a loan, what does my credit score need to be? You know, what are you looking for exactly? Do I have to have money down? You know, just a lot of questions about the process. And you're going to have that with any lender that you go to, so I'm hoping that this information will just be good for you guys, no matter what you decide that you want to do. The first thing that I always look for is character, and that, you know, it's really, really easy if it's somebody that's been doing business with me for a long time. You know, I've got to know them, I know what they do on a regular basis. We've talked about their struggles and their ups and their downs. So if somebody comes to me that's been banking with me for 5 or 6 years, and let's say in that time span they've been through a divorce and their credit took a hit. You know, they've been with me for 5 or 6 years. I've seen them go through that struggle. I know how hard they worked to try to recover from that. And it's a lot easier for me. If they're coming to me and asking me for a loan and their credit score's taking that hit, I already know that backstory and that information. And I'm more likely to hear them out the rest of the way without a doubt. If this person hasn't done business with me before, I have to go on my gut feeling when I talk to people. So first impression, come in and just kind of get to know them and ask them some questions. And then everything past that point is just going to be based on the paperwork. And that's where the confusion kind of comes in. Want to do an application off, you know, first thing, because we want to know your personal information, which is tough for a lot of people, but for us to be able to pull credit, for us to be able to see how much you make in a month, what bills you have to pay in a month. We want to know this information because, one, we want to know that you have enough money to continue to sustain your life before we do a loan. And it balances risk on my end, but on your end, it's protecting you as well. I don't want to do a loan for you trying to help you and hurt you. And I've been in those situations where I've talked to a customer and it turns out that doing a loan isn't the right thing for them at that point in time because it'll end up hurting them in the long run. You can't borrow your way out of debt, you know? So the first thing I ask them is, well, why do you need the money? You know, I mean, if somebody that you know, if your friend come up and asks you for money, that's the first thing you're going to ask them. You know, well, why do you need it? Are you sure you need it? You know, so we'll go through that first. Why do you need it? All right, let's say you want to buy a car. Okay, great. So let's do the application. Let's see how much money you make. Let's see how much you're paying. Let's make sure all that's in balance. Once we get that in balance, then we pull credit. Now, it's probably different from lender to lender what they're going to look for on a credit report. But on a credit report, for me, I'm not just looking at that score. I'm not looking at just that number. I want to know what makes that number. I want to know if you have anything that's past due right now. That shows on your credit report. If you have any collections that haven't been paid, or judgments. Judgments are a big deal. They're a step above you're going to be on your collections. Collections just means it's been over to a collection agency. A judgment actually means that, let's say you came and you wanted to put a pool in your house, and we were going to do a lien on your home, and you got a judgment on your credit. You've actually got to take care of that judgment before you can put a lien against your house, because that judgment takes precedence. So that's something that's got to be taken care of through the courthouse. You've got a file showing that you've paid that and that it's taken care of to show clear title on your home. So, and a lot of people don't realize that can be a lien on their house. And so that's a really big deal when something goes from just being a collection to being a judgment. The other thing that lenders look for on your credit report is they want to know how many times your credit's been pulled here recently. And that gives us an idea of how many other lenders you've been to. But it also lets us know, like, if your score's taken a couple of points. Every time you pull your credit, it dings you for a point or two. So that's the other thing that we look for on the credit report. The next thing that we look for is capital. If you're wanting to do something, if you're wanting to put a pool in, you want to buy a car, I want to know what you're going to put in it. You want me to invest in it? I want to know what you're investing in it. I want to know how important it is to you. So whether that's a cash down payment or a lien on your home, that sort of thing, that's why a lender asks you for collateral. And that brings us to collateral. Depending on what kind of loan that you want to do, if it's a car, usually the car is your collateral. Or if you want to do that pool in your home, they want to keep you at a good ratio, loan to value ratio. Let's say that you're doing a whole bunch of home improvements. You're going to spend $20,000, $30,000 on home improvements. You want to know that when you get done with that process, that if you want to refinance it all into one lump, that you're in a good position to go to a long-term lender to get you a really good interest rate. So you don't want to be 100% loan to value if you can help it. So that covers all 5 points that any lender that you're going to talk to is going to try to cover with you. But like I said, I've been doing the lending now for 3 years, and I really, really enjoy it. And the points where I really get to help somebody do something they've been really wanting to do, it's really, really great. Construction's a whole lot of fun. See somebody's dream go up. So I hope that some of this information kind of answers some of the questions that just kind of pop in your head when you go to a lender. And like